it's taken over 5 years for us to finally figure this out. So why am I blind? Okay, finally some answers, and I think this is going to be a little bit difficult for me to get through. It's a lot more final now than it was before. Before, for me, I felt like I had a little bit more hope, you know, that there would be a surgery, a transplant, some new medication, something new. If you want to kind of see what my journey has been a little bit like, you can check out my YouTube video. I'll have a pop-up that comes up at the top of the screen going to my video, Going Blind at 26 years old. Keep in mind, I started losing my sight when I was 25. I just did not realize that I was going to end up going blind at the time. So you can click on that video up there. Part of my blindness has come with a new diagnosis of having quinism. Quinism is brain poisoning that happens in the brain because of a medication I was put on when I was diagnosed with lupus. Because it all goes back to when I was 12, I started getting sick. A week before my 14th birthday, I was diagnosed with SLE lupus. There are 4 kinds of lupus. Of course, SLE has to be one of the worst. A very high dose of a steroid, and I was put on another drug called hydroxychloroquine sulfate. It's also known as Plaquenil. Now, here's a disclaimer. I'm not putting down the drug. I am not attacking or giving a factorium about this drug. Okay, I'm telling you my experience with the drug. The way I relate it to people is it's like a peanut allergy. Some people will have a reaction and some people will not. For those who have a reaction, it's quite dangerous and it's quite bad. The only thing is, because of the way the drug is, it gets stored into your cells. So you may not have immediate effects the first year you take it, or even the second year, or even the third year. You might not have bad effects until years later, and you're puzzled as to why this is showing up. So I was on a high dose of Plaquenil for an extended period of time. However, the harm has already been done. Brain poisoning that happens from the quinism will not stay stagnant. It will continue to worsen with time. What does that mean? I am 29 years old. I'm turning 30 this year. The things I'm listing right now are actually from the brain poisoning from the quinism. I am blind. I have trouble with memory. I have emotional disturbances. I also have psychological problems and disorders from it. I have issues where I can't sleep, or I have extreme nightmares or night terrors. And all of these actually came out within the first year. A lot of these came out within the first year of me being on hydroxychloroquine sulfate or Plaquenil, and we just didn't know. And another fact for you is this is actually an anti-parasitic drug that's used in third world countries. It's also used for an anti-malarial drug in other countries as well. Like I said, not everyone will have a response, but some people it does, and it starts affecting their mind. And depending on how you were raised and how you grow up, a lot of people will hide this because they're ashamed of it. They think that there's something really wrong with them because of this. And that makes it even harder for people to try and get help. Like I said, right now there isn't a treatment to fix this. I'm not trying to be depressing, okay? It is a very depressing thing the more that you think about it. And there's also a lot more issues that I have that I haven't listed. It is a big list and it's a very personal list, but this is one of the reasons why I have gone blind. There is a warning on Plaquenil, on hydroxychloroquine sulfate, about blindness, and a lot of people think, okay, it has to do with, you know, similar to macular degeneration or cone cells of the eye or lens of the eye or nerve of the eye. Just so you know, on all of my optometrist tests, all those come back normal. So no, having your regular annual eye checkups with this medication, it's not a way to watch to prevent it, because all mine are 100% normal. What happened in my case was due to the brain poisoning, the brain has shut down the nerve communications between the brain and the bilateral optic nerve. They had to do a special test to find that out. Again, that took 2 or 3 years for them to find out that it was the nerve that just wasn't working. And again, at that point, we still did not know why. I had to go through invasive testing. I had to go through degrading attitudes from medical professionals. And it's a hard journey. It's a very hard journey. And when attitudes like that come from high places, it's even harder to change the stigma towards people who are disabled. But again, that's why I'm sharing on my YouTube channel. I'm going to actually have a link down below to the Quinism Foundation. My mom actually talked to the head doctor who was a part of this, and is a lawsuit going against the company that created this drug. I don't get mad at my doctors per se because I don't know what information they are given. There are times that I have to battle feelings of self-guilt because sometimes I think to myself, because there were times I did not want to take the medication. Like, I just did not want to take it anymore. I was tired of it destroying my life. I didn't know all of this at the time. And of course, you know, you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you, well, you need to take it, you know, like it's affecting your life if you don't take it. Then you have that self-guilt afterwards because a part of you feels like you did it to yourself. That's a horrible thought. But the truth is, I didn't do this to myself. We made the best decisions at the time with the knowledge we were given. Unfortunately, we were not given enough of the right information. And at that time, again, a lot of things have changed in the at least last 10 years. There wasn't a way for us to find this information out. So if you want more information, especially if you're on the medication, there is a Quinism Foundation. I will have the link for that below. This is kind of really final for me. I take a long time to explain things, I guess. What my Quinism is. It's why I'm blind. And some days it's really hard to deal with that fact. Sometimes I do feel really angry because I was making a decision based on the information I was given, hoping to have a better life, hoping that my life would be better from my lupus, and ended up making it worse by taking a medication that I should never have been on. You know, like I said, some days it's really hard to deal with that fact. It's really hard to have that knowledge. You know, that statement, ignorance is bliss. There is not a peace, but some kind of stillness from finally knowing what it is, finally having an answer. Does it make it better? I don't think so. Until there's a way to find out if there's a way to somehow get that communication back between the nerve and the brain, my life is like this until further notice. One thing I really noticed, and I couldn't believe this, when I became public and I was sharing about how hard my life was dealing with my blindness, because you have to remember, blindness is not my only issue. I deal with multiple health issues and diseases that really just take a toll on everything. They take a toll on my physical abilities. They take a toll on my relationships. They take a toll on my marital relationship. They take a toll on my emotional and psychological state. You know, and all of that can weigh really heavy on a person. But one thing that I was really disgusted with when I was sharing about my blindness, I had all kinds of people messaging me trying to sell me their next best diet, their next best vitamin, their next best program. And the people who do this, they're like, unless they've invested money to become a doctor, or unless they've invested money to, you know, further their education, they're not doing it because they care for you. They're doing it because they see you, you're in a state of need, and they prey on that. And of course, I was always polite and considerate to them. There have been people who have offered me things to try and make my life better or a little bit more peaceful, and they gave those things to me for free. I'm not saying that I need a handout. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is when it comes from the right place, when it comes from the right person at the right time with the right attitude, it's not going to be a hard decision for you to be able to follow through with it. Something I would like people to learn from this video, because there's a lot of stuff in here that was very negative. There's a lot of stuff in here that's very overwhelming. There's a lot of information here that's very debilitating, really. The deeper you think about it, the more overwhelming and phenomenal and devastating it seems. But if there's something that someone could take away from this video, is to learn that when you have something that you have gone through, you do not need to apologize for your life, and you do not need to put up with that narcissistic abuse where someone puts down your experiences, someone puts down what you go through. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I am going to be doing other videos. I think I'm going to be doing a video more in depth on Quinism, what Quinism is, a lot of the symptoms, you know, different things like that. I think I'm going to be doing a video that's more in depth. But if you've stuck around this long, that is amazing. I know everyone's story of why they're blind or how they became blind. I know it's private, but if you feel like sharing, I would love to hear it in the comments down below. If you are not blind, you know, go ahead and let me know that you're not blind, but you're still listening to my videos, because to me, that's amazing. If you're not blind and you're watching my videos, you are the person who's going to help change people's stigmas, because you're becoming educated, you're knowing about the blind world. And for me, until I was thrown into this world, I had no idea. I thought, you know, everyone was like Mary Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie, you know? Today, I realize, you know, that's not even remotely true. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Definitely want to get bigger on those subscriber numbers. I'm hoping that when my channel becomes big enough that it starts to monetize, I really want to start doing packages that I can just send out to other people who are blind or visually impaired. Not because I'm trying to score brownie points or anything, but there's been times when people just gave me a little gift, and the fact that they thought about me, it just really put a small spark of light in my day, and it made me feel good. And I want to do that for other people as well. I want to do it for other people in the blind community. So definitely help me reach those larger subscriber numbers. If you at all want to ever share, you can actually do that. We have a PayPal account below. As many of you know, my husband is in the Philippines at the time of this video that I'm filming, and it's obviously very, very hard there. We've been dealing with this pandemic, and that just makes things a lot harder. You can actually, for $20, I can actually send him, there's a food service over there, a restaurant that will deliver to his house, and it comes with a little note. And if you want to give my husband a meal, it's usually around $20. So if you want to do 20 USD or 20 Canadian, that is about one meal. And because he's Filipino and he lives on a very tight budget, he will actually usually split that meal over 2 meals. And if you want, when you send that, you can send a little note of who you are and your name, and I will include that in his note and send that to him. And we probably, if that happens, we will take a picture of it and put it on one of my YouTube videos. So you can do that with the link down below. There's a PayPal link. Like I said, you obviously don't send money if you don't want to, okay? I'm not, you know, begging people for money or anything like that. That link has been there for a while. It's just there if people want to utilize it. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!